The moment I saw my designs walking down that runway, something inside me shattered. My sister Milena, basking in the spotlight, was wearing the very dress I had sketched in my studio just months ago. The same dress she had dismissed as amateur when I first showed it to her. I'm Jordan, and I used to believe that talent and hard work were enough to make it in the fashion industry. That was before I learned that sometimes your worst enemy shares your last name. Absolutely brilliant collection, Milena. My mother's voice carried across the after-party, drawing attention to my sister, who stood surrounded by fashion elite. I always knew you had it in you. I gripped my champagne glass tighter, watching Milena work the room. She caught my eye for a split second, and I saw something there. Not guilt, but triumph. You okay? Caitlin, my best friend, appeared beside me. You look like you're about to break that glass. That's my work, I whispered, nodding toward the rack of clothes being photographed. Every single piece. What? Are you sure? I pulled out my phone, opened my gallery, and showed her the dated photos of my sketches. Remember when Milena stayed at my place last month, said she needed sister time? Oh God. Caitlin's eyes widened. When you were sick, when I was in bed with the flu for 3 days, she went through my studio. My entire portfolio, gone. My voice cracked. I thought I had misplaced it. A fashion reporter approached Milena. Your use of asymmetrical necklines is revolutionary. Where do you find your inspiration? Milena laughed, that practiced perfect laugh she'd perfected since we were kids. Oh, you know how it is. Inspiration is everywhere. Sometimes it hits you in the middle of the night, and you just have to get up and sketch. I nearly choked. Those were my midnight sketches, done during sleepless nights, when creativity wouldn't let me rest. Jordan, my father's gentle voice caught me off guard. He was the only one who seemed to notice my distress. Sometimes the truth has a way of coming out on its own. Not this time, Dad. I set down my glass and reached for my clutch. This time, I'm going to help it along. As I headed for the exit, I spotted something that made me freeze. On a nearby table, Milena had left her laptop open, her email visible. The subject line read, Upcoming collection. Original sketches required for copyright. I smiled for the first time that evening. Milena might have stolen my designs, but she'd forgotten one crucial detail. Every artist leaves a trail, and I had just found the beginning of hers. You need to see this, I said, sliding my laptop across Caitlin's kitchen counter. We were having our weekly Sunday brunch, but food was the last thing on my mind. What am I looking at? Caitlin squinted at the screen while buttering her toast. Milena's upcoming show schedule. Look at the finale piece. I pointed to the description. A red evening gown with hand-painted cherry blossoms. Caitlin nearly dropped her toast. The dress you were working on for months, the one you showed me the sketches for, the very same. I pulled out my phone, showing her the original sketches. She's planning to make it the centerpiece of her spring collection launch. Caitlin caught herself. What are you going to do? I'm going to her preview show next week. I took a sip of coffee. Small venue, industry insiders only. Perfect place to gather intel. You really think that's wise? Being that close to her? The doorbell rang, interrupting us. Dominic, my former colleague from design school, walked in with a serious expression. I came as soon as I got your message, he said, pulling up a chair. And I brought something you need to see. He produced a USB drive, security footage from the night of her last show. The video showed Milena entering the backstage area hours before the show, carrying a familiar black portfolio. My portfolio. She's getting sloppy, Dominic said. Too confident. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, I finished. A plan forming in my mind. My phone buzzed. A text from Milena. Darling sister, Mother insists you come to my preview show next week. Don't disappoint her. Again. The nerve, Caitlin muttered, reading over my shoulder. Actually, I smiled. I think I will attend. Jordan. Dominic's voice held a warning. Trust me, I need to see how she presents my work up close. Besides, I showed them the invitation. Eva Valdez will be there, the fashion journalist. Caitlin perked up, the very one who exposed that major plagiarism scandal last year, I confirmed. And I happen to know she's already suspicious of Milena's sudden, creative breakthrough. Just then, we overheard two women talking outside Caitlin's apartment window. Did you see Milena's interview? She's calling her spring collection Sister's Keeper, says it's inspired by her family bonds. I felt my blood boil. Dominic placed a steady hand on my shoulder. Easy, he said. We play this smart. One wrong move, and she'll paint you as the jealous little sister. Oh, don't worry, I replied, pulling up the preview show seating chart on my laptop. I'm done playing the little sister. It's time to show her who the real designer is. The preview show venue buzzed with anticipation. I adjusted my black cocktail dress, one of my own designs that Milena had once called basic, and made my way through the crowd. Jordan. Dominic appeared beside me, pressing a glass of champagne into my hand. Eva Valdez just arrived. She's by the bar. Perfect timing. I took a deep breath. How do I look? Like someone about to start a war, he smirked. I approached the bar where Eva stood, her signature red lipstick matching her power suit. She looked up from her phone, recognition flickering in her eyes. You're Milena's sister, she said, not a question. Actually, I'm a designer in my own right. I pulled out my phone. And I have something you might find interesting. Eva's eyes widened as I scrolled through my original sketches, complete with dated timestamps and development notes. She glanced at the runway setup where Milena's collection hung. Identical to what you're about to see. Yes, I met her gaze. Every single piece. Ladies. Milena's voice cut through our conversation like a knife. She air-kissed Eva's cheeks. I see you've met my baby sister. Still trying to break into the industry, darling. Eva's eyebrow arched at Milena's condescension. Actually, I smiled sweetly. I was just showing Eva my work. You know, the original sketches. Milena's face flickered for just a moment before she recovered. Oh, sweetie, still claiming inspiration from my success. Mom warned me you might try something like this. Speaking of inspiration, Eva interjected, her journalist instincts clearly piqued. I'd love to see your original sketches, Milena, for my feature piece. Of course, Milena's voice went up an octave. They're in my studio. I'll have them sent over. Tomorrow, Eva pressed. Yes, tomorrow. Milena's smile strained. After she hurried away, Eva turned to me. Those timestamps on your sketches, they're verifiable? Every single one. Plus, I have witnesses who saw my work in progress, including industry professionals. Eva pulled out her business card. Send me everything, and Jordan. She paused. I've suspected something was off about your sister's sudden success. The fashion world needs more original voices, not thieves in designer clothes. As Eva walked away, Dominic reappeared. How'd it go? Better than expected. I watched Milena frantically typing on her phone across the room. She's panicking. Look. Milena was now arguing with her assistant, gesturing wildly at a tablet. She's realizing she can't produce the original sketches Eva asked for. Dominic grinned. No, I smiled, feeling a weight lift from my shoulders. She's realizing that her house of cards is about to collapse, and I'm going to be there to watch every single piece fall. Your daughter is making wild accusations. Milena's voice carried through my parents' house as I walked in. She's trying to ruin me. I paused in the hallway, listening to the family drama unfold in the living room. She showed those sketches to Eva Valdez. Milena continued. Eva Valdez. Do you know what that could do to my reputation? Well, did you? My father's calm voice cut through Milena's hysteria. Did you take her work? Bryce, my mother interjected. How could you even suggest? I'm suggesting it because I've seen Jordan's work for years, Dad replied. And suddenly, Milena produces identical designs. I chose that moment to step into the room. Milena's face went pale. Family meeting without me, I asked, setting my bag down. How fitting. Jordan, Mom rushed to smooth things over, ever the peacekeeper. Your sister is very upset about these accusations. They're not accusations when there's proof. I pulled out my laptop. Would you like to see the evidence, Mom? Or would you prefer to keep believing Milena's lies? I worked hard for my success, Milena shouted, but her voice trembled. Show us, Dad said quietly. Show us both portfolios, side by side. Milena's face crumpled. I can't. Because you destroyed my original portfolio after you copied it, I finished for her. But you forgot about my digital backups. I did what I had to do. Milena suddenly exploded. Do you know how hard it is to make it in this industry? You were wasting your talent, working on small projects, while I had the connections, the influence, the audacity, I cut in, to steal from your own sister. Mom sank into a chair, her perfectly maintained facade cracking. Milena, tell me you didn't. Ava Valdez is writing an expose, I announced. She has all the evidence. Your choice, Milena. Come clean now, or let her reveal everything. You wouldn't dare, Milena whispered. We're family. Family. I laughed bitterly. You stopped being family the moment you stole my dreams. Dad stood up, his expression pained but resolute. Milena, you need to make this right. Make it right? Milena grabbed her designer bag. Watch me. I'll prove these designs are mine. I'll prove you're all wrong. As she stormed out, Mom turned to me with tears in her eyes. Jordan, I'm so sorry. I should have seen. Save it, I said, gathering my things. The fashion world's about to see who Milena really is. And Mom? They're going to see who I am too. I left them there, knowing the real storm was yet to come. Milena's desperation would only make her more dangerous, and my revenge sweeter. Everything's set for tomorrow night, Caitlin said, helping me organize the evidence in my apartment. Eva's article drops right after the show starts. And the video presentation? I asked, checking my phone for the 100th time. Ready to go. Dominic got us access to the main display screen. She paused, studying my face. Are you sure about this? There's no going back. My phone buzzed, a text from Mom. Milena's having a breakdown. Please reconsider. Look at this. I showed Caitlin the message. Still trying to protect her golden child. The doorbell rang. Dominic rushed in, looking flustered. We have a problem. Milena's trying to change the venue last minute. What? I stood up, panic rising. She can't. All our plans. Relax. He held up his hand. The sponsors refused. Too many tickets sold, too much publicity. But she's desperate. My laptop pinged with an email notification from Milena. Dear sister, I read aloud. I'm willing to offer you a deal. Full credit as co-designer, a position in my company, and a public statement about our collaboration. All you have to do is call off Eva Valdez. Caitlin snorted. Co-designer of your own work? How generous. She's scared, Dominic observed. This could actually work in our favor. Another ping, this time from Eva. Milena's lawyers contacted me, threatening legal action. Don't worry, my evidence is solid. Are you ready for tomorrow? Jordan, my father's voice, made us all jump. He stood in my doorway. I'd forgotten he had a spare key. Dad, I found these in our attic. He held out a dusty portfolio. Your earliest designs, from high school, including the original sketch of that red dress Milena's promoting. My hands trembled as I took it. You kept these? I always believed in your talent. He looked at the evidence spread across my table. But are you ready for the fallout? This won't just hurt Milena. She hurt me first, I said firmly. She stole my work, my dreams, your sister, he finished quietly. Just make sure revenge is worth the price. After he left, I opened the old portfolio. Inside, a photo fell out. Milena and me as teenagers, laughing in our shared bedroom, surrounded by fashion magazines and sketches. Don't, Caitlin warned, seeing my expression. She made her choice. You're right. I closed the portfolio with a snap. And I've made mine. Tomorrow everyone sees the truth. Dominic checked his watch. 12 hours until showtime. Let's go over the plan one more time. I nodded, pushing away the last traces of doubt. Sometimes, the only way to reclaim your future is to destroy someone else's carefully constructed lies. The backstage area of the fashion show hummed with chaotic energy. Models rushed between racks of clothing. My designs, stolen, and now tagged with Milena's name. Security pass? A guard blocked my path. She's with me. Dominic flashed his industry badge. My assistant. Once inside, I spotted Milena in her element, directing staff and preening for photographers. Our eyes met across the room. She froze. "What are you doing here?" She grabbed my arm, pulling me into a corner. "Supporting my sister," I smiled sweetly. "Isn't that what family does?" I saw Eva Valdez outside. Milena's fingers dug into my arm. "What did you do?" "Me? I'm just here to watch my designs walk down the runway." "Oh wait, they're yours, aren't they? Prove it." Her face contorted. "You little—" "Milena," a stagehand interrupted. 5 minutes until the pre-show press meeting." She released my arm, straightening her designer jacket. "This isn't over." "No," I agreed. "It's just beginning." As she walked away, Caitlin appeared with a garment bag. "The dress is in position." "Perfect." I checked my phone. A message from Eva. "Article ready, waiting for your signal." The venue filled with fashion elite, journalists, and photographers. My mother sat in the front row, anxiety visible even through her Botox. Dad chose to stay home, saying he couldn't watch his daughters destroy each other. "Places everyone," the show director called out. "Milena, they're ready for your opening speech." I positioned myself near the control booth, where Dominic waited. Through the curtain, I heard Milena addressing the crowd. "Tonight's collection, Sister's Keeper, is deeply personal." Her voice carried through the speakers. "It's about family, loyalty, and the bonds that shape us." "Now?" Dominic whispered, hand hovering over the computer. "Not yet." I watched Milena gesture dramatically. "Let her dig deeper." "These designs came from my heart, my soul." Milena continued. "Each piece tells a story of Jordan." Caitlin's urgent whisper cut through my focus. "She's got security checking backstage passes. They're heading this way." I glanced at the guard approaching, then at Milena on stage, still spinning her web of lies. "Do it," I told Dominic. "Now." He hesitated. "Once I hit this button." "She's had months in the spotlight with my work," I said firmly. "Time to bring up the house lights." As Dominic's hand moved toward the computer, Milena's voice rose triumphantly. "And now I present to you my masterpiece collection." The music started. The first model stepped onto the runway, and I smiled, knowing that in exactly 60 seconds, everything would change. The massive screens above the runway flickered. Milena's promotional video cut out, replaced by my design portfolio, complete with timestamps, progress photos, and studio footage of me creating each piece. Gasps rippled through the audience. Cameras flashed frantically. "What's happening?" Milena's voice cracked over the microphone. "Cut the video." "Can't," Dominic muttered beside me, typing furiously. Systems locked. I stepped out onto the runway, my heels clicking against the polished surface. "Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Jordan, the actual designer of this collection." Phones raised throughout the audience, recording everything. Eva Valdez sat forward in her seat, a satisfied smile on her face. "Security!" Milena screamed, but no one moved. They were all too captivated by the evidence unfolding on screen. "That red dress you're about to show?" I continued, my voice steady. "Here's me sketching it 6 months ago." The video played, showing my late-night design session. "And here's you, entering my studio while I was sick." Security footage appeared, showing Milena leaving with my portfolio. "She's lying." Milena lunged for me, but stumbled on her designer heels. "She's always been jealous of my success." "Your success?" I pulled out my phone, playing a recording. Milena's voice filled the venue. "Of course I took her designs. She wasn't doing anything with them. It's not stealing if it's family." The audience erupted in whispers. Fashion critics furiously typed on their phones. My mother covered her face with her hands. I can explain, Milena pleaded, looking around desperately. This is a misunderstanding. Is it? Eva stood up. My article just went live, complete with testimonials from your production team, confirming you never created a single original design. Milena's face crumpled. She grabbed the microphone. Fine, you want the truth. I took her designs because I could sell them better. I had the connections, the personality. What did you have, Jordan? Nothing but sketches and dreams. And talent, I replied calmly. Real talent, not stolen glory. The first model emerged wearing my red dress, the centerpiece of the collection. Except now, projected above, everyone could see the original sketch, my signature clear as day. This show is over, Milena announced, trying to maintain control. No, I corrected her. Your show is over, mine's just beginning. Security finally appeared, but they weren't heading for me. They escorted Milena off stage as she screamed about lawsuits and family betrayal. Ava approached me, digital recorder in hand, ready to tell your story, the real story. I looked out at the audience, at the cameras, at my mother's tear-streaked face. Years of living in Milena's shadow, of having my creativity stolen and dismissed, had led to this moment. Yes, I said firmly, I'm ready. The morning sun streamed through my studio windows as I pinned the final piece of fabric on a dress form. My first solo collection was nearly complete. Package for you, Caitlin called from the doorway, holding a thick envelope. Inside was a magazine, my face on the cover of Vogue, alongside the headline, Fashion's Phoenix, Jordan rises from stolen designs to industry star. They did a good job, Caitlin nodded, reading over my shoulder. Eva's article tells the whole story. My phone buzzed. Mom's number. Answer it, Caitlin urged. She's been trying for weeks. I picked up. Hello? I saw the magazine. Mom's voice was soft. You look beautiful and talented. I'm sorry I never saw it before. Where's Milena? I asked, though I already knew. The fashion world's gossip networks had been buzzing about her escape to Europe. Paris, living with her godmother. Mom paused. She's different now, humbled. She asks about you. The studio door opened again. Dad walked in, carrying a familiar box. Found more of your old sketches, he said, setting it down. Though these days, your new ones are even better. I opened the box, finding childhood drawings mixed with teenage designs. A photo caught my eye. Milena teaching me to sew, both of us laughing. She sent you this, Mom said through the phone. It came this morning. My email pinged. A message from Milena. I'm sorry, not for getting caught, but for betraying you. You deserved better. Congratulations on the Vogue cover. Your talent was always real. Mine never was. Jordan, Dominic burst in, excitement on his face. The buyers are here. They want to see the collection. I looked around my studio. My designs proudly displayed, my team waiting, my future unfolding. Mom, I have to go. Buyers waiting. Of course, she said. We're proud of you, both of us. I ended the call and opened my laptop, clicking reply to Milena's email. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. What are you going to say? Caitlin asked. The truth, I typed. Thank you for the apology. Success tastes better when it's earned. I hope you find your own path, one that doesn't require stealing someone else's. The buyers are waiting, Dominic reminded me gently. I stood up, straightening my dress, my design, my creation. Through the studio windows, I could see the city skyline, full of possibility. Let's show them what real design looks like, I said, walking toward the showroom. This time, when I stepped into the spotlight, it wasn't to expose a lie, it was to reveal my truth.